and हम इधर काम करने आए थे, and incidentally we came here to work, and incidentally, as you know, we have the biggest rascal in astrology, Mr. Hanish Bagga, with us, and he did not let us work.
Thank you, sir.
Morning to evening, he wants to be in the beach. Okay, he wants to go to all kinds of beaches, and I don't understand why. Okay, anyway, we're going to talk about a technique, career, timing of events.
Timing of events.
So Anish, it's all yours. Please explain why you're teaching this technique, how to use it, etc., etc.
See, this technique is basically a transit technique which is related to career, direct impact on career. Now, the important point is when this technique is from your moon chart. So wherever is your moon in your birth chart, we will count from moon. That house will be known as house number 1. Maybe any house, but we'll count from there. So transiting Rahu, 10th from birth or natal moon. 10th house is for career. Moon is your money. So whenever transiting Rahu goes 10th from birth moon, lot of changes happens in your career. Lot of events happens related to your career. Now, when I am saying lot of events, it may be good, it may be bad. We need to see the position of Rahu in the birth chart. If in natal chart or a birth chart, Rahu is good, so it will give you good result. If in natal chart Rahu is bad, it will give you bad event. Primarily, when we talk about Rahu in 10th from natal moon, from a transit from your natal moon, transiting Rahu, lot of event. Now, if this Rahu is good, there is a promotion in your job. If this Rahu is bad, you will lose the job. There's one technique.
Can you give us some example charts of your friends, relatives, or neighbors, or neighbor's spouse?
See, the point is, say for example, people who have moon in Rahu, moon in Cancer sign. So when Rahu was 10th, right now it is in 10th, it will give bigger events related to career. Now we need to see other points as well. Point number 1, is there any planet in that house where Rahu is transiting? So for example, if Jupiter is there, event will be different. If Mars is there, event will be different. If Rahu is there, natal Rahu, event will be different. If Saturn is there, event will be different. Let me give you example and explain. If you have Jupiter in Aries sign in your natal chart and Rahu right now in Aries sign, so Rahu is going over your natal Jupiter and 10th from your moon, natal moon. Now, there are chances people will invest for new business and their or in their existing business. There are high chances of losing that money. Why? Because whenever transiting Rahu makes connection with your natal Jupiter, whatever money you will give to others, say you are lending money, udhar de rahe kisi ko, that money will not come back. It will be really difficult to get that money back. Or whenever you are investing, you need to be doubly sure you are investing at the right place. This is very, very important. Now, if there is a planet, natal Saturn, if Saturn is there, it is even more tougher. Why? Because whenever Saturn and Rahu both are conjoining in transit, natal Saturn and transiting Rahu, the rule says it is not good.
But what will happen? I mean, ideally speaking, what will happen? What possibilities of events?
Losing the job. Boss will not favor you. Your immediate boss will not favor you. Till the time Rahu is 10th from your natal moon and Saturn is sitting, natal Saturn is there, your immediate boss will not support you, for sure. The only exception to this point is Jupiter is aspecting. Natal Jupiter is aspecting natal Saturn, and then Rahu is traveling from there, then there is a savior.
Can you repeat the exception once again more slowly?
Exception is, we'll see from natal moon. This technique is related to natal moon. And we are saying Rahu 10th from birth moon. Now Saturn, natal Saturn is sitting in that house. Now Rahu is traveling 10th from moon and over Saturn, natal Saturn.
Natal Saturn. So what's the exception?
The exception is if Jupiter is looking at aspecting to Saturn. Now there are 2 points, in natal chart and in transit. We need to see both. If it is in natal chart, it is the savior. If it is in transit, it is the savior. Both points, you will be saved. Or there are chances you will be elevated. Correct? But if Jupiter is not looking at it and Saturn was in bad house, you will definitely lose your job. Now there is one more exception. People say, or people experience this, some people lose job for few months. Some people lose job for few days. Some people leave job and they for years. What is the difference? Difference is the position of that planet, like Saturn, natal Saturn, and in Ashtak Varga, if that house has less number of points, less than 27. Now a lot of people say 27 is average, but my experience is for this Ashtak Varga, points should not be less than 30. Because between 27 and 30, your experience will be almost same. 30 and above points in Ashtak Varga, you will definitely excel there whenever a planet will go. Now, Rahu is saying whenever Rahu will go 10th from moon, there will be some movement. It will shake your career house. So there will be some movement. Now, one more point. If this is happening and it is a double transit, for example. Now one more point I am adding. Saturn plus Jupiter, both are together in that house. It will happen soon. After, I think, next year, May, June, Jupiter and Rahu both will be in same sign, Aries, for a smaller period. That time will be very, very important for everyone who has moon in Cancer. Because now Jupiter is there, Rahu is there. Now what will happen? Now whenever Jupiter and Rahu both are in conjunction, a lot of people say it is good yoga, a lot of people say bad yoga. But my experience is, forget about this, look at your Mercury. If Mercury is good, it will give you amazingly good result. If Mercury is bad, it will screw your life. Because in that house, Mercury will start playing important role. And the reason why, because there are two groups. One is handled by Jupiter, another planetary group is handled by Mercury. So whenever Jupiter is weak, Mercury gains the power. Whenever Mercury is weak, Jupiter gains the power. So Rahu is follower of Mercury and Ketu is follower of Jupiter. Both are enemies. Now, whenever Rahu is with Jupiter, Rahu says, Jupiter, you please stop working. Let me handle it. And both are enemies. So Rahu will look at Mercury, boss, you tell me what to do. So Mercury will advise Rahu. And now important event happens when Mercury is retrograde in transit. Now Rahu is unpredictable. Why? The speed of Mercury is very fast. It changes house every month. Point number one. So this is one rule. Second rule, transiting Mercury and it is retrograde. So even Rahu is confused what to do. Should I give result of this house? Should I give result of some other house? A lot of people say Mercury, when a planet is Mercury, it gives a result of previous house.
And the planet is retrograde.
Correct. But my experience is it gives a result of 7th house. So now if Mercury is in Lagna, so Mercury and retrograde, it will give result of 7th house. And I have tested this technique in more than 1000 charts. It always works, never fails. Whatever planet you have, if it is retrograde, it will definitely give result of 7th house from its position. Why? The rule is, the logic is, Sun is in center, all planets are rotating, moving, and Saturn comes in the end. Now planet is retrograde. This planet says, I will not look at Sun, I will look at Saturn. Now Saturn will decide what to do. If Sun is saying, you need to follow all these rules, which is controlled by me. But when planet is retrograde, look, I am looking at you. You are Sun, right? I am a planet, say Mercury or Venus or whatever. Saturn is behind. So when there is a retrograde planet, it will look like this. So my back is towards you now. And now I'm looking, where I'm looking at Saturn. And both are enemies. Sun and Saturn, both are enemies. So now, this planet will look at Saturn and ask energy from Saturn. Saturn, please, you let me know what to do. Now I am following you for a shorter time. That is the point.
Thank you so much, Manish. And just for the audience, when he was giving out all these techniques, I was trying to test it on my chart and my friend's chart or charts that I remember. So this all techniques on this thing is from your upcoming course, Timing of Events.
Timing of event, yes.
And that's starting when, this Saturday?
The coming Saturday.
Coming Saturday. So some of the demo classes of the course, or the first few lectures of the course, you made it free on YouTube.
Right.
Yeah. So you guys can go. What are the title of those?
Timing of event.
The title of those videos.
Timing of event.
Timing of event.
How many parts are there on YouTube?
3 parts. 3 parts we have already released, and we will be releasing few more parts shortly.
Today, tomorrow.
Within few days, yes.
So you all can join that course. The link of it would be below, or you can just go to our website saptarishishshop.com and
Find timing of event
in courses section, timing of events of Anish Baggaji. So as usual, you can see Anish Bagga is now in full form. When he used to give lectures in the studio, okay, he used to sit and he was as if chain dala hua tha. He was chained. Now in this nature, he's so it's like he's out of the jail, and he was having all these kind of movements. So that's expression. And when you are studying, you want a teacher who can express himself with his heart,
Right.
and who teaches you with love, So join the course, guys. I'm quite sure this Vedic Astrology course by Anish ji. Usually he teaches Vastu, he teaches Lal Kitab. Now, last few courses you've been teaching Vedic Astrology. So definitely join this course, and more important than joining any course, you watch this video, okay, you will not realize the finer points that he has not been able to say in this short duration. You will realize it only when you test it on charts. Aggressively sit for 2 hours, call up your friends, say this Rahu was in so and so place from so and so time to so and so time. So what happened? And you will realize, for example, when Rahu was in 10th from somebody's moon, okay, and it was with Shukra, okay. So Shukra, the Karakatva of Shukra is women, okay, and then you see the lordship of Shukra. It could be 5th lord, it could be 3rd lord. Those people in that 1.5 years, okay, would go back on their actions, words, thoughts, okay. Why? Because Rahu makes you do that. It makes you go back, okay. You can check it out. It's a very simple rule, okay, which I discovered when I was seeing so many charts in my younger days, okay, is wherever Rahu sits in your horoscope, that house, okay, whoever is the relative or whatever it signifies, if it is 5th house, it is children, it also signifies education, okay, it signifies many things. It signifies your emotions, it signifies romance, etc. They will play that Kabhi Haan Kabhi Na game of that movie, they will go back, they'll go back on it, okay. So during this 1.5 years, okay, whichever planet is in 10th from Chandra Lagna and Rahu joins it, those planets, Karakatvas or lordships, will go back and forth, and if your Rahu is very heavily afflicted, you will realize it will make you bloody cry. It will make you frustrated like anything. You will go and you will start visiting temples as to why it's happening. Why? a deal that you were doing, that deal almost gets through, you're about to get the letter, it'll fall through. Then you get the letter, okay, you're about to get the advance money, okay, bank transfers would not happen. Or the person changes his mind. I've seen it, I've tested it, you know, we were discussing this technique in the long 1.5 to 2 hours journey. You know, so mentally, I always mentally, what I do is, okay, I always have a database of 5 to 10 charts, okay, whose life I completely know, and I know that charts completely. And unless and until you do that, okay, unless and until you do that, okay, you're playing around with your time. You'll say, okay, मैं घर पहुँच के, I will check it, I'll reach home, I'll check it, I'll call up my friend. Nothing doing. You got to know whose lagna is what. Indira Gandhi which lagna? Karka lagna. Okay, Mahatma Gandhi which lagna? Libra lagna. Where is Chandra? Okay, where is Rahu? Okay, everything you need to know. That's the whole point. Okay, the whole chart. That's what we teach in our basic courses. We make people by heart all the celebrity horoscopes. We make them by heart their Rashi chart, Nauman's chart, their Dashamsha chart. So whenever somewhere something they read, okay, they can easily predict that yes, it's working, it's not working. And they need to know the events. Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Hanishji. Thank you for your patience, Neeraj bhai. Okay, which course is coming up quickly? If you can.
Varshful, sir.
Varshful. Okay, it's in Hindi or English?
Hindi, English both.
Both. Okay. So when is it starting?
Two batches are there. Hindi is starting from 3rd July
Okay.
and English is starting from 9 July.
Thank you. And how many months course it is?
It is 5 months, sir.
5-month course. And the payment is
15,000.
15,000. So how much does it translate per lecture? 200, 500 rupees per lecture. So that's a very small investment. I'll tell you the biggest mistake. 95% of the astrologers I have seen, okay, I have seen them, I sit with them in their office, clients bring their charts, they look at Rashi, Nauman's, okay, Dasha, Gochar, that's it, Tata, Cheerio, bye-bye, okay. Anybody else who's a student, okay, after 5 years, 10 years also, they get a chart, they will look at Rashi, Nauman's, Nakshatra, Dasha, Gochar, Tata, Cheerio, bye-bye. They'll predict some events. But they never ever double check it from Varshafal. They never ever double check it from Varshafal. So what you see in the Dasha, in the Yoga, Dasha, Gochar, you need to double check it from Varshafal and then predict with conformity. Am I right or wrong?
Yes,
Okay.
very good.
That is one thing. Second, I do not know what your experience with Varshafal is. Okay. When I was young, there are certain yogas that are crystal clear. They are crystal clear in
D1 chart.
D1 chart. Certain events which are still crystal clear in Nauman's, Dashamsha, etc. But we know only very limited number of yogas. Okay. So when you are seeing Varshafal, okay, the event that was not crystal clear, I'm not saying the event was not there. In the natal chart which was not crystal clear, in sometimes from Varshafal, bang on, you can see it like this. Am I right or wrong?
You are right, sir.
Bang on. And those are sometimes very fine, super fine events, okay, which when you predict, okay, which when you predict, your client or your person who's come to consult you say, man, kya prediction hai? Kya prediction hai? Okay. For example, I remember in old Astrologer, okay, we had traveled for a couple of hours, okay, and what happened is, okay, there was a person with me. He said, "Beta, okay, 2 mahina pehle, okay, in your house, was there some kind of accident, okay, in the kitchen, okay?" He said, yes, there was an accident, and it was about to become a bigger accident. Now, I was sitting right next to the astrologer. So that's the whole secret, you know, what the astrologer is using. Okay, incidentally, we can't, you know, if I'm sitting in front of Anish Baga and in his office, his chair is here, table is here, and I am here. I can't go behind over here right and sit right next to him and see his computer screen and find out which dasha he is using. Is he using Vimshotri or Yogini? Okay, but with old astrologers, and if you're traveling in a group, and especially these old astrologers, they always have this kind of baitak. where so many people are sitting, Vinayak, so many people are sitting in the same room. So sometimes the rooms become crowded and you land up, he says, Aja, beta, come sit here. Show me your horoscope. So with these kind of things, then you get to see what that person is using. Many a times we feel people only use Vimshotri Dasha, but no, it's Yogini Dasha they are using. Okay, so I'm saying this is how you learn. What is the secret technique of that Jyotish? Okay, you only need to know the name. And then you got to do your research. Okay, so anyway.
One very important point which is related to Varshfal, which is most amazing point I have experienced, because I am also teaching Varshfal, but that is Lal Kitab Varshfal, and he is teaching Vedic Varshfal.
Tajik Varshfal.
So now important point is, the important rule is, whenever transiting planet, be it a Vedic chart, Vedic Varshfal, or a Lal Kitab Varshfal, goes in the same house where it was there in natal chart, that year it gives a bigger event.
Can you repeat slowly once again for?
The important point is, say for example, my someone's Jupiter is in say 7th house, just an example, natal chart, and when we are making a Varshfal chart through his technique or through my technique, which I follow, which is Lal Kitab, the planet goes in the same house where it was there in natal chart. That means it is repeating, coming again. That year it gives significant and very big event, and the point is, for astrologer it is really difficult to handle that event, because it says I am unstoppable, you cannot stop.
Yeah, because it is fulfilling its natal promise.
Correct.
It's fulfilling its natal yoga.
Also, not only the same planet, if Lagna is also repeating in that
Lagna
Varshfal.
is Tajik rule.
In Tajik rule. Because in Lal Kitab,
Lal
Lagna is
Kitab we
fixed.
do not follow Lagna, but
Yes.
the placement.
See, another Vedic thing, okay, is very simple, okay, and it is used in Prashna also, okay. Let's assume your Mithun Lagna, okay, and your Varshafal Lagna, okay, is Capricorn, okay. Varshafal Lagna is Capricorn. Now that is 8th from your natal Lagna.
Correct.
Let's assume, remove Varshafal aside for a second. Prashna comes Capricorn. So from your natal, it is 8.
Correct.
So this is a problematic year, or the Prashna is a bad Prashna,
Correct.
or a challenging Prashna. So you have to see your natal ascendant or Chandra ascendant, okay. You cannot forget that. You cannot forget that. This clue gives you a very important thing. Anyway, you got to go. We made
Also,
the.
sir, when 8th number house will come in Prasna from natal chart, there can be something which is hidden by question.
Yes, very good. Sorry, we have to go, guys. We made the guy boatman wait, and already he's giving us the half rate for it, because we promised that we have Hanish Bagga here who will look at his horoscope while we go in the backwaters over here and give free predictions. So instead of 800 rupees, he's charging 900 to us. And I do not know how Hanish is going to construct a horoscope if he does not have the correct birth time. But somehow chuna lagana padta hai, and Hanish se better kaun laga sakta hai. Okay. Anyways, guys, before I wind up, a great tip for research. In your Varshafal, okay, if Saturn gets associated with the 12th house, especially from the 6th house, okay, be very careful, or with the 12th lord, be very careful while buying shoes. Ideally, don't buy shoes. If you buy shoes, okay, chappal kharidoge, chappal padegi. Okay, that means if you buy shoes, you'll get beaten by somebody's shoes, especially those flirtatious characters, who kind of always tease like Hanish Bagga. I do not know.
Sir.
We are walking on the beach. And only women are seeing only him, and they don't see a handsome guy like Neeraj, okay, or an old monk like me, okay. So I do not know why it happens. We got to tell you bye. Thank you so much. Love you guys.